Notably, in Kilburn, Supreme Court reserved decision over whether there may not be things done in one house or another of an extraordinary character for which the members who take part in the act may be held legally responsible should the members of these bodies so far to forget their high functions and the noble instrument under which they act, explaining, we are not prepared to say that such an utter perversion of their powers to a criminal purpose would be screened from punishment by the constitutional provision for freedom to debate. In line with Kilburn, the First Circuit recognized that there may be some conduct, even within the legislative sphere, that is so flagrantly violative of fundamental constitutional protections that traditional notions of legislative immunity would not deter judicial intervention. I find that very interesting because the grand jury that the Justice Department and panel that now Jack Smith is leading is investigating January 6th, which was an attack on Congress unlike any other. The question that came to my mind when I read this footnote was, would our founding fathers think what happened on January 6th and what went into the planning surrounding that rises to the level of such egregious legislative conduct that flagrantly violates fundamental constitutional protections and whether this insurrection rises to the level of that sort of an act, that extraordinary act. And from a lay perspective, from somebody who has been following it since Donald declared war on our democracy in November of 2020 publicly, it sure as heck seems like this incident was of an extraordinary character. But the government has not brought that out. They have not talked about that. And I don't know why that is. Perhaps because it is not only the speech and debate clause in this context, a technical and extremely convoluted issue to discuss to begin with, to bring up this other thing would give Scott Perry and his allies, Donald and his allies, Lindsey Graham and his allies, the more of a stepping stool to say that this is politicized, that who are you to judge whether this was egregious or not?